Hey, how's it going, guys? Denver James here, ready with another Black Friday game live stream. So excited to have you guys tuning in, whether live or later after the stream has been posted. As you can see, I got my Amazon screen pulled up here. I'm going to enlarge this and we're going to jump right into it. So if you're not caught up yet, this is kind of new for me of doing some live streams over the Black Friday season. The reality is, this is an amazing time to get pretty much anything. If you're like me, I wait until Black Friday to get a lot of stuff. Now, I recommend that if you're needing new socks, new underwear, hygiene items, I recommend that you probably get those before Black Friday each year. But for anything else, for games, for camera equipment, if it's accessories for your laptop, if it's a new coffee maker, whatever, you're going to find this stuff absolutely slashed during the holidays. And so it's an amazing time to get stuff. I see we got one person popping on so far. Welcome. Glad you're watching. Super excited. But yeah, it's just an amazing time to be able to get the things that you want, things that you need when it's cheap. And these sales are insane. We're going to jump right into some of these sales that I've got here. I've got a few games in particular that I want to pull up. And I like to give a little commentary on some of these games. If you've not played them before, they're amazing. So right up here, we've got Camel Up. Now, comment below if you've heard of this game before. This game is amazing. I had it introduced to me by a friend several months ago, and it's a game that involves a heck of a lot of chance. And for some gamers, that can be a little frustrating because they prefer something with a lot more strategy involved. You have some control over whether or not you can actually win the game based off of your wits and your smarts. This is definitely not that kind of game, but it is hilarious. You bet on camels in this race. There's different colored camels, blue, yellow, white, red, you name it, and you place bets throughout the game. The game plays a little deeper than that. I'm definitely giving like the bullet point there, but this game is one of the funniest games I've played this year. Funny because it's set so random, and you just place these crazy random bets. You can have a camel that's in 5th place, and because of the luck of the dice, it'll shoot straight up to 1st place, and it's truly an amazing game. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because we're seeing the surge right now of board games that typically are really expensive. In the last stream that I did, I shared about how board games are just really, really expensive. It's a big reason why I didn't start reviewing them on this channel, because it was more cost-effective to review card games. Well, you look at games like this. This is a straight up 50% off. It's normally $40 for the game, $19.99. This is like super cheap for this game. This is a game that doesn't typically get this cheap. Sometimes Amazon will have deals on it or what have you. Not normally this cheap, but if you look at the board right here, I mean, come on, who would not love that board? Isn't that awesome? You've got a lot of you got a lot of stuff that you'd find in the desert. Right here's the pyramid. So in this pyramid is what you put all the dice in. And it's actually got a pump button. So if you look at the top of that pyramid, you push that button down and it scrambles all of the dice. And then you literally have a button that you press to pop one out, and it's pretty awesome. So pretty neat. You got the dice over here, a bunch of colored dice right here. And based off the dice that comes out and the number on it determines how many points you get for the camel that you bet on. Again, you're getting this whole board game for $19.99. It's so cheap and definitely a must. One of my favorite games of the year, one that I've not reviewed yet, but hope to soon. Another one that I want to look up here, this is one that I touched on in the last stream, but as I was searching, for you guys and for myself, I try to search a lot of these games daily by the hour sometimes, just because it's fun to see what's getting slashed and on sale. One that's really cheap right now is Here to Sleigh. Now, this is a game that's been out for probably about 3 years now, and if you've not played it yet, you seriously need to check it out. This is a game that when it first came out, it was kind of a sleeper hit. It came from the Unstable Games company, the same company that made Unstable Unicorns. And so faithfuls to that game discovered this one, and people that were fans of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like myself discovered it that way. And now it's just kind of surging in popularity. Here to Slay is kind of a big deal right now. It's a combat-based game where you build a class of heroes, several classes of heroes to attack monsters and also to destroy other people's hero cards. And so it enables you to be able to more or less build your deck-ish. It's not like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, but you're playing cards on your playing field, and you're building your cards out with different items and magic and different abilities. But this game was voted by me on my channel as being the best game of 2023, and I still stand by that. This game is phenomenal. So right here, you get a peek right here at some of the different cards included in the game. We've got everything from the hero cards right here. We've got magic cards, item cards to enhance your characters. But this game is $11.99, which is just so cheap. And if we go back to the last page that we were on, they've got all their expansions absolutely slashed. And so right here, you got Here to Sleigh. Get it? Sleigh. Anyways, stupid joke. But Here to Sleigh, Christmas expansion pack. Pretty rare that you get a Christmas expansion pack with anything. It's kind of something that Unstable Games does. They also did that with Unstable Unicorns. They did a Christmas version. I need to do a more specific search here because I pulled it up earlier. They've got all of their Here to Sleigh expansions completely slashed right now, which is just amazing. It comes with, each expansion comes with 2 monster cards, new ones, 2 new monster cards, 2 new hero cards, and a bunch of other item and magic cards. But yeah, you look right here, Black Friday deal, $8.49 for the Warriors and Druids expansion pack. And then the Necromancers one, I believe, is on sale as well. It's not quite wanting to come up in this search feed. Let's try looking up Here to Sleigh expansions, Necromancers. Here we go. And yeah, see, here where you go. Berserkers and Necromancers, $8.49, a regular $12 for this expansion pack. So it might not seem like a big deal. That might not seem super cheap because it's like, it's a couple of bucks off. But you're talking, you can get the entire, if you wanted to, you could get the whole Unstable Games expansion pack collection with the base game for $28.97 for the entire umbrella of Here to Sleigh expansions and games. Other than Here to Sleigh, you're getting a whole game collection for $28. This is a steal. And like I said, Here to Sleigh, one of the best games I've ever played. Definitely the best game of 2023, in my humble opinion, for what that's worth. It's a phenomenal game, and it has incredible replay value. I mean, if you watch my review videos on it, you'll know that I've talked about it often. I've talked about it highly. Such a fun game. Now, the next one I want to look up, this one might seem a bit old hat because either so many people have played it or owned it or sold it and rebought it, like a Nintendo Switch. How many of you guys have friends like that that have bought and sold and bought the Nintendo Switch again, like 3 or 4 times? Catan is kind of one of those games. But here's the thing about Catan. If you know anything about board games, if you know anything about Catan, these games never, ever go on sale. And that might seem like a bit of a white lie because it's like, well, sometimes instead of $50, it's $45. But the point is, these games are always expensive. Around Black Friday time, they go slashing on prices. We've got the base game of Catan, regular $55, which is no joke. Sometimes I feel like Amazon inflates their prices to just show off like what a big discount it is, like some stores do. But this is not the case with this. Year round, this game is anywhere from $55 to $60 typically. And right here, you've got $25 flat. It is 55% off, over half off on the Catan base game, which is just amazing. If you're into the expansion packs, they've got Catan Seafarers for $26.49, regular $60. Pretty sure Catan is the only game that exists where the expansion packs cost more than the base game. Catan is full of it, but $26.49 for Seafarers. We've got Catan Cities and Nights, $39.99, which is a super popular one. That's actually one of the 2 expansion packs that I've played from Catan. I played Cities and Nights and Seafarers. Both are fun, a bit complex, but they can be fun. $39.99 out of $60 for that expansion pack. And look at this. Everything is in red. They've got Catan Traders and Barbarians, Explorers and Pirates. They got Treasures, Dragons, and Adventures. You'll know that in the last stream I talked about the Catan dice game, perhaps arguably the best version of Catan to play. $8.49 for this. And the list goes on. Catan Junior. We have Rivals of Catan, which many of you may not know is actually a 2-player version of Catan that is entirely card-based. It's like a card-based version of Catan for 2 players in a nutshell. That game is typically cheapest on Amazon. $26.99 is the regular price. Normally, if you find it at Barnes & Noble or Walmart, it might be a little more than that. But $15.99 for this version of Catan. And again, so many other different versions of the game that are just slashed and on sale. You cannot pass this up. Now, one other one that I'd like to show you guys. This is one that's actually been popping up on my channel. It's given me a lot of views and a lot of comments from you guys. Thank you for commenting over the last year, has been Doomlings. Now, I talked about this one in the last stream, but I feel like it's worth bringing up again. Doomlings is doing really well on sales right now. You got the base game of Doomlings for $19.99. I won't reiterate too much for those of you that already watched my last stream. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it. You'll hear me brag a bunch on Doomlings. But Doomlings is probably in the running, no doubt, with one or two other games. I won't tell you what the other ones are yet, but you've got a clue. A new video coming up in a month where I'll be sharing my game of the year for 2024. Now, keep in mind that game of the year is not based on the release date of the game. It's based on when I discovered the game. So if it's a game that's 4 years old, but I just discovered it and played it this year, I'm going to vote it as game of the year. Eventually, I would like to be able to do a game of the year based on that year, but I'm not there yet. So there's still so many games for me to explore that are backlogged, that are older. I'm just naming them based off of when I find them. But Doomlings is in the running for the best game of the year for me this year. Doomlings is phenomenal. For the price you're getting, $19.99, you're getting just a huge loadout of cards. I've played this game several times with my wife, with my closest friends, with people from my church, super huge fans of this game. It's a blast. But $19.99 is pretty amazing. And if you look down here, you got expansions from them. You've got the Doomlings Imaginary Ends expansion, 5 expansions in one box. This version of the game actually has just as many cards as the base game itself. And so you're essentially doubling the size of your Doomlings game for $19.99. Total random side note, of course, the gameplay matters, and the gameplay of this game, of this expansion, is super awesome. But just look at that artwork. I absolutely love this game. And I think it gives Exploding Kittens a run for their money for vibrancy. Pretty awesome. But the whole Doomlings Imaginary Ends expansion, $19.99. If you look through here, they've got the Doomlings Overlush Mystery expansion. These are actually booster packs. So if you get this, it's kind of the equivalent of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh!, where you have the opportunity to collect cards. On the corner of each card, they've got the number that represents that card in terms of like, is it numbered 24 card out of 178 possible cards? That's what those Overlush expansions are. But you look through here, and they just have so many different Doomlings expansions on sale. There's also the Doomlings Upgrade Box expansion, which is the original Upgrade Box expansion pack, the first one they came out with. Almost just as many cards as the first base game, and on sale as well. But pretty phenomenal. Now, last but most certainly not least, I want to look up Exploding Kittens here. Now, Exploding Kittens, if you've not shopped for them before during this time of year, they are the kings of slashing prices. They're phenomenal. So right now, almost everything has got a Black Friday red sticker on it on Amazon. You got the Exploding Kittens Grab and Game. This is kind of part of a new series where they're trying to make it more convenient to travel with your games. And I totally respect that because I've done a lot of traveling, do a lot of traveling. And it's nice to be able to have a game that's quick and easy on the go. Sometimes Exploding Kittens has been known in the past and critiqued by fans for having too big of boxes. If you're looking at something like Throw Avocado, for example, not exactly the best game for size. If you're to actually see this game in person, this game is huge. It is a massive fat box. I mean, it's probably about this big. It's definitely bigger than my head. Not super conducive for traveling. But if you go back to this grab and go, a lot of these Exploding Kittens grab and go games are built to be able to, well, be on the go, obviously. But yeah, it's an awesome rendition. Now, that said, those of you that already own Exploding Kittens probably not interested in this because you're buying the same game twice. But pretty awesome to add that feature. If you've not bought Exploding Kittens before, this is a great version to go with. But we have Throw Avocado, $11.99. Now imagine the game that's this big, not just a box. You're getting these plush avocados. If you're buying Throw Burrito, you're getting burritos that are that large and plush, along with a ton of cards. $11.99 is a steal. If we scroll down here, Streaking Kittens, again, in my opinion, best expansion that exists for Exploding Kittens, and it's the cheapest. You're going to have Imploding Kittens, Barking Kittens, a lot of these other ones, and even as they are on sale, I believe as well, they're not nearly as cheap as this. $4.99 for the best expansion in the game. This one is one you must buy. And as you can see right there, it says purchased March 2023. That's Amazon reminding me of when I made these impulsive purchases. Do not regret it for a second. It's amazing. The original Throw Burrito, $9.49. Guys, this is literally the biggest, cheapest stocking stuffer that you can buy. And if you've not played this game before, it's fun for adults, even more fun for kids. I played it as an adult. It's a lot of fun. Gets your cardio going, so you have to run a lot. If you get the right card combinations, you have a Throw Burrito battle where you really have to chuck these things at people. I recommend doing it in a space where you don't have breakable vases or flimsy flat screens and all that stuff. But an amazing game. Kids will love it. But 62% off. You're not going to find it that cheap any other time of the year. And I'm looking right here. This is insane. So this one isn't as talked about, but still worth mentioning, is the Throw Burrito Extreme Outdoor Edition. This one literally has blow up burritos, which is just huge. So look at that demographic. Look at that. I mean, look at this picture, for example. Obviously not a real photo of people playing, but that's a perfect example of what the game looks like. It's these massive blow up burritos, and you play with the same cards, but with just inflatable versions of this game. $13.99. 53% off. Now, granted, you're probably not going to play that during the winter outdoors. A little cold, depending where you are. I'm in California, and it's cold. So kind of cold everywhere, right? If you are someplace warm and sunny right now, go and comment below. Let me know. Denver, it's sunny over here. Make me jealous. I dare you. But we have the Mantis card game, $12.94, original $20, super cheap. If you've not played that card game before, this is one of those that I would also call a sleeper hit, like Here to Slay, where not a lot of people were playing it. Exploding Kittens is kind of one of those game companies where they come out with a new game every minute. And so some of their games can get overlooked or overshadowed simply because 1 out of 5 is going to be more popular than most. And there's other ones that are going to get swept under the rug. Mantis is one of those ones that started out pretty quietly and jumped up in popularity. If you've not played this game before, it's a game where you're essentially building colored decks of Mantis cards to collect points. This game's amazing. It's also built on the actual mantis shrimp animal. So pretty cool. I mean, this is a creature that actually exists. The game actually comes with a comic explaining the origins and the abilities of this mantis shrimp. Pretty cool. But yeah, if you look at these cards, super fun. Everybody builds their decks of cards to earn points. And you have the ability to be able to cash in on those piles of cards. Obviously, I'm doing a horrible job explaining these games as they're meant to be played. But again, this is a Black Friday sales alert video, not a how to play video. If you want to watch those, you can dig up my channel and find them on there for a more eloquent review. But yeah, you've got Hoppy Salmon. It's kind of their Easter version of Happy Salmon. You get it for $7.99. And just, I mean, in a few words, stocking stuffers. These games are amazing for stocking stuffers. If you got Happy Little Dinosaurs, this game I have a lot of conflict about. And if you're willing to listen, I'll tell you why. So this is a game that right now is just surging in popularity. People are freaking out over Happy Little Dinosaurs. And it was a video that I made about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And I'll be honest, the review that I give for it, if you go back and watch my video, it's an honest review. I really enjoyed it. But one thing that I found after playing it over time, some of these games, when I review them, I've played them 100 times and then I review them. Exploding Kittens was such a game. Happy Little Dinosaurs was a game that I played once, reviewed it, played it again, and then realized that there were more issues with the game for me personally than I initially realized upon reviewing it. The hard thing about the game, it's really hard to score. It's one of those games where just adding up the point tally and figuring out where you're at on your little board can be really frustrating sometimes. And so for that reason, didn't have a lot of playability for me in that season of life. And but a lot of people seem to enjoy it. It's really blown up. It's got 20,000 views on my video, which again, as I've shared before, big deal for me. 20,000 views. That's nothing for Mr. Beast or Mr. Ryan Trahan, but for me, that's a lot. But this is a game that has just really blown up in popularity, and a lot of people seem to enjoy. But when you look at the price for this, I know I just totally got you excited for buying that game by telling you that I don't like the scoring on it, but a lot of other people like it. So you might be worth giving a shot. But you look at that, 50% off flat, $10 even, not $10.99, not $10.50, $10 flat. Throwing a little Amazon shipping, $11. This thing is not going to fit in a stocking unless you just get a stupidly sized stocking that you can find on Amazon, the 4-foot tall ones. You could probably fill that stocking with Exploding Kittens games for like $60 at this point. These games are so cheap. A Little Wordy for $9.99. This is another game that's been slept on by Exploding Kittens. It's a 2-player game. My wife and I absolutely love it. I actually recommend it for adults over kids. Kids can have fun with it, but if you notice that age range, 10 and up, the reason for that is not because it's a game that's too mature for kids. It's not an NFSW version of the games by any means, of these little birds swearing and cussing at each other and flipping each other off. But it's a game where it's kind of like a play on words game where you're trying to guess the other opponent's word, and you build your word based off letter tiles that you collect and have. So my wife and I have played this game a ton. I highly recommend it for couples, for adults, for you and a friend. It's an amazing game in that way. And like I said, definitely geared towards adults. $9.99. It's a blast. If you look at Really Loud Librarians, that's a game that I own. Haven't reviewed yet, but plan on it. $14.99, 89. Not the best deal out of the bunch, but still $15. That's not bad. Unstable Unicorns. Super cheap right now. The problem with this game is that I think it was about a year ago. Unstable Unicorns, literally, I don't know, like if they were smoking something or whatever it was, but Unstable Unicorns was on sale for $3.99 less than a year ago. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe it's just an older game and they had it built up in stock, but they were literally selling these games like hotcakes, like pancakes. And I remember at the time, I made a video on it. Didn't get a lot of views. Unstable Unicorns is kind of like it's like the looked over middle sibling of the game family. Here's Exploding Kittens way up here. And mom and dad are like, oh, look, Unstable Unicorns. That's a horrible, if you're a middle child, to my middle sister that I do have, that's not an indication of where you rank in the family. I do apologize. Just a metaphor. But this was definitely that game that was overlooked and people didn't play a whole lot. But then they sold it for $3.99 and the game just blew up. I mean, sometimes the best way to get something out to an audience is to sell it dirt cheap and then people will jump into it. But $11.99 for $20. I just got a comment from Reality. Unstable Unicorns definitely needs more recognition. I totally agree. It's a fun game. It's a blast. And especially if you grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I shared how Here to Slay, also made by Unstable Unicorns Company. Here to Slay is kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! I would say Unstable Unicorns is a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh! Unstable Unicorns is truly like a child of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the way that the gameplay works. Super fun. I think what it is with Unstable Unicorns is there's a bit of a learning curve to it. People buy it because it looks cute and yay, unicorns. It's so fun, colorful, bright. And then they buy it and they're like, holy crap, this gameplay is really intense. And that's kind of the definition of the game for me. It's really intense, but if you're a hardcore gamer, I consider myself a middle of the road. Reality, I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments what kind of gamer you are, because I'd be curious. For me, I can play across the whole spectrum of games. I tend to rest somewhere in the middle in terms of just, I want to play something competitive, but at the same time, my brain gets tired and I don't feel like pushing that hard when it comes to a game. Unstable Unicorns for me is kind of that middle of the road. And I'd say Here to Slay is like that as well. It's a perfect middle of the road game. But for those that are uninitiated, can be challenging. But I totally agree with you, Reality. Unstable Unicorns definitely needs more recognition. I don't know why it's been slept on so much. It's got great appeal. I think it's also potentially been out for a little longer than a game like Here to Slay, for example. Here to Slay is just so fresh, hot, and new. It really connected with a wider audience. And I don't know, maybe unicorns. Maybe people thought that it was just for little girls. And it's like, no, actually, you could be like a hardcore gamer, guy or gal, and you're going to have a lot of fun with it. So I totally agree. Deserves more love. It's a really, really fun game. Reality said, in the middle as well. No way I'd play a WW2 game, but definitely need more action than Vanilla Mantis by EK. I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment. That's really good. Exploding Kittens, block Burrito. This is actually an expansion pack. So if you have Avocado, Throw Avocado and Throw Burrito, both of those games are considered their own base games that you can also combine. Block Burrito is actually an expansion pack to those games. And so you can add it to either or. You can combine all three together, turn into a massive game. I probably would recommend that over the holidays. We all know the tension sometimes can be high. That family member decides to bring up politics at the table. Somebody rubs shoulders with that, creepy uncle that they don't like. And, sometimes you just need to release the tension. If you want to release the tension over Thanksgiving week, buy Throw Burrito, buy Throw Avocado, buy Block Burrito to protect yourself from your creepy uncle throwing these inflatable mush burritos at you, whatever. It might be a great stress reliever game for the holidays. So maybe check that out. But $9.99, that is super cheap. And this is a relatively newer expansion pack. This has not been out for very long. I'm kind of scared of looking up Exploding Kittens date and time for when these games were released, because I did that in my first live stream where it normally is. Normally, there's a little time punch at the bottom of the game in the technicalities, and it says released July 2022. But they duped me this time. I actually don't know where they put it this last time because it wasn't there. So I'm scared to look. But you know what? This expansion came out, I want to say 2 years ago. A lot of fun. I would highly recommend checking it out. Happy Little Dinosaurs, again, a reminder of that $10 flat is pretty amazing. Happy Salmon, here we go. So Happy Salmon, this game I would say is the definitive stocking stuff for game for your kids, for your friend, for your spouse, whoever. 38% off, $7.99. This game is a blast. Now, this is a game that I wouldn't say was a sleeper hit, I would say it was a big hit with kids when it first came out. Mom and dad looked at this game and thought, oh, this looks really cute. I mean, just look at those cute little eyes. Come on. Like, how could you not be weak for those? This is so cute. But anyways, with this game, it appealed to kids right away and parents bought it for their kids, but it's a really fun game for adults as well. It's a game where you hold a deck of cards. The game happens in real time and live. So it's not a turn-based game or anything like that. And there's different actions in your cards. You're holding those up. And you look at the top card. If it says Happy Salmon, you've got to find somebody else with a Happy Salmon card and do the Happy Salmon action. So it's this weird, like, slap your forearm thing. Like, I don't know that salmons actually do that. I lived in Alaska for 6 years. Didn't see any salmon doing that. So apparently that's a thing. Exploding Kittens. I'd love some explanation on the lore of that. Do happy salmons just go around slapping each other's forearms? I don't know. But this game's a blast. If you have that card, you have to find somebody else with that card, do the action, and then you get to throw the card away and go to your next one. And whoever clears out all of their action cards first wins. And the pitch for this game is legit. If you look at that, it says 90-second rounds. And that's actually true. You have a bunch of people screaming like crazies. If you have kids, it's hilarious because adults get really intense about it, but kids will borderline. They don't know whether to laugh or cry because they just want to get through their cards, and you can get stuck. And you have again, pitch towards kids, just as much fun for adults. Kids can get frustrated by it, but I've also seen if you have the right kids for the game, or at least I should say, the right game for the kids, they can enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, but $7.99, and the size of the game is a perfect stocking stuffer. After the end of this video, I'm going to include some links for some of these games so that you can pick it up in the description, and I get a small percentage of that as an Amazon associate. So feel free to support me that way if you so desire. If not, we can still be friends. It's okay. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. I reviewed this game the other night, but $7.99 for this game. Super fun. Again, don't wear rings. For myself, I am happily married, and this ring has hurt me and hurt other people in the course of this game. You have to slap the deck of cards, and I'd go through all the rules, but you can watch my video later on that. But essentially, it can hurt your hands, hurt your fingers. I would always encourage people to take all their rings off before we started playing the game, because if not, you would get seriously cut up. Very painful. But so what I want to look up now, oh, wow. Okay, so look at this. I just keep digging, and there's just more. Poacher for Neanderthals, one of the funniest games I've ever played. It's a game where you have to describe words to your teammate in one-syllable words. So like, ooh, ugh, big house, go far. I'm even struggling to do it now as I think about it because it's that hard of a game. If you really think about saying things in one-syllable words, super hard. We have to do this, and if you say a double syllable word, the opposing team has a giant inflatable. You know what? I'm not gonna explain it. Let me just show you what we're talking. Oh yes. Okay. So leave it to Exploding Kittens. They've got the most amazing photos. Check this out. This dude is totally just getting whopped in the head by the giant nose stick. And I mean, this is like a 2.5 foot long inflatable nose stick. And you whop the opposing team with it if they say a word with more than one syllable. In this game, I have laughed so hard, and I'm not gonna lie. Let me just admit right off the bat. First time I played this game, I really had way too much fun with this inflatable nose stick, and I just whopped somebody with it. And that somebody was my wife. I deeply apologize. I promise that I'm not a mean person, but I was so excited, and I was like, it's practically a balloon. It's not going to hurt. And she said a double syllable word, and I whopped her. And let's just say, inflatable, full of air, made of plastic, still kind of hurts. So I kind of had to tone it down after that. So make sure you don't hit anybody too hard. But trust me, you're going to feel the sensation and the excitement of holding this nose stick and just waiting for somebody to slip up. It's just like, try me, say a double syllable word. I dare you. Super fun game, $9.99. And you can look up expansions to go with that as well. But the next one is Without Fail. This is a game that I reviewed here recently. This game is so funny and great. It's a great party game. Great for friends. The reviews on this game have just been kind of middling. It's a 4.4 out of 5 stars, but I'll be honest, I would get this over Happy Little Dinosaurs any day. And Happy Little Dinosaurs is 4.7 out of 5. Without Fail is a blast. Great for parties, great for big groups, great for 4 people. I would say you probably want to have a minimum of at least 4 people for it to really be truly fun. It says 2+ players. There are 2-player rule options, but it's more fun. Definitely one of those games where it's more fun with a group. I would highly recommend that. But yeah, so many other games on here. You got some newer games on here from Exploding Kittens where they're not quite on sale yet. You've got like Let's Hit Each Other with Fake Swords by Exploding Kittens. I think that game, if I'm not mistaken, came out at Walmart for super cheap. I think their Exploding Kittens was like selling them for $10 a piece or something like that. So I don't know that I would recommend buying it at Amazon's small business $30.39 price point that's a little outrageous compared to the price that it's been. So I wouldn't buy it from Amazon. But one more I want to look up. I've kind of been on an Uno craze really quick. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of Uno. Uno is a super universal game, right? There's so many different ways to play it. One that I'll bring up that's not necessarily on sale. It's got $1 off, but that doesn't really count as Black Friday. Again, I'll be doing more streams like this in the future too, so you're going to be able to see more live updates from me of games that go on sale. I'm checking these games daily just to see what catches, what goes on sale. So definitely, keep an eye out. But Uno Show No Mercy, that's a game that I'm currently working on a review for. This game is hilarious. I would put this on your Amazon list or on your Walmart, Target list, whatever. If it goes on sale, definitely check this game out. Now, the reason why this one's a little more expensive, you can find it in Walmart for like $7 or $8. This one's the big metal tin version. So this one's going to be a lot higher quality in terms of the packaging. But Show No Mercy is a hilarious game. It's actually a game where they have an Uno rule that I think that they should add to all future Uno games, where if you hit 25 cards or more, you're immediately eliminated from the game. And I just think that's an amazing rule. I mean, like, how many of us have been in a game of Uno where it just lasted way too long? I'm like, why is it taking us this long to get to that concept of getting 25 cards or more? And you know what? You're just done. It doesn't matter. Go to bed, take a nap, cry yourself to sleep, but you have lost 25 cards or more. I think that's a rule that should have been added a long time ago. But guys, this game, as you can tell right here, has draw 6 cards, draw 10 cards. It has a draw 10 reverse wild card. This game is literally built for punishing people. And so you can literally stack people within the double digits, 10, 15, 20 cards or more. You could literally eliminate someone with stacked attack cards. This game is amazing. And that's why I'll be reviewing it here very soon. Definitely highly recommend it. But it's a game, again, 6% off for the 10 version. You can get it for $7 to $8 at Walmart. It's probably honestly not going to go on sale. You see, I'll say that, and then I'll be proved wrong. I hope I'm proved wrong. But Uno is not really needing to fight for customers. People just love Uno. People are buying Uno anyways. That's why they have like 50 flipping different versions of Uno. As you can tell, so many different versions of Uno that come up. Uno Flip, Uno Dare, Giant Uno, Uno Attack. There are so many different versions. Probably not going to drop in pricing, but still a phenomenal game. Definitely check it out and keep an eye out for that review for me as well, because it's totally worth a look. Now, while we're here, I want to look up, let's see if we could pull up, Black Friday at the top. There we go. Black Friday card games. We're going to do one final comb to see what we've got here. Taco versus Burrito. That's a game that apparently was invented by a child. Didn't know that. Kudos to that kid. I wish I was that kid. And I wish I was that creative at that young an age to be able to release a game. But $15.98 out of $24.99 list price. Super good deal on that. Play 9. It was the second company ever to send me a free copy of their game for review. I love that company. Love that game. If you've not played Play 9 before, you do not need to be a golf expert to play it. Comment below if you've played a game called Skyjo. Skyjo is a super fun game. I believe Swedish made, German made. I can't remember what nationality Skyjo was invented in, what country. But Play 9 is a lot like Skyjo and vice versa. If you played Skyjo before, check out Play 9. This game is super fun. It's all about getting the lowest number possible, just like golf, to win. A lot of fun. But yeah, so many amazing games on here. Again, you got the base game of Exploding Kittens for $9.99, really cheap. That's what I wanted to look up really quick, guys, is Imploding Kittens. Imploding Kittens, I would say, is the second best expansion ever made. And the only reason why it's not first is because Streaking Kittens just somehow found a way to top them all. But this is where it all started. This was the first expansion pack that came out for the Exploding Kittens game. Comes with a giant cone of shame. So if you forget it's your turn, you have to wear the whole dang thing for the whole dang game. And it's really frustrating, but really hilarious to watch your friends suffer through. But this expansion pack is amazing. 15% off for $8.49, which is just a great price. Pretty awesome. I'm looking at, oh my word. So they've got the Zombie Kittens expansion pack. Now this is kind of a big deal. Wow. Okay, let me explain to you guys my thought here. So I've been talking to a lot of people in the comments here recently about why I haven't included the Zombie Kittens expansion sleeve pack, like Streaking Kittens, into any of my top 5 or top 10 reviews. The reason why is because Zombie Kittens was released as an expansion pack for a very brief, limited time. You could get it popularly in combination with other game sets on the Exploding Kittens website, but it was really like hard to find. You could not find the Zombie Kittens expansion sleeve like this anywhere. It's really hard to find. Pretty sure they just completely pulled it from the market, and now I'm seeing it here for the first time in like years, couple years. So on a side note, I might have to buy this and actually review it at some point. But again, Zombie Kittens, 15% off, 849. I'll tell you why this is amazing is because Zombie Kittens is rarely ever bought as a base game to play by itself. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be played by itself. It's an amazing base game. I actually would recommend playing it by itself as opposed to combining it with other games because it introduces so many cool new features, gameplay features to the game. It stands alone and is worth playing on its own. But here's the thing. If you're the person, and I know there's a lot of you because you've shared about this in the comments, you're a fan of combining all of your Exploding Kittens expansion packs together for one game, this would be the expansion to get because you're talking $849 for all of these different cards. You're getting the best of the best in terms of like the abilities of the cards without having to buy a whole new base game. I would seriously check this out. You're not only going to be able to ditch a box, which I know a lot of you have complained you hate Exploding Kittens packaging. I don't wholeheartedly agree. I am a collector, so I love how the boxes look on a shelf, but I get it. I run out of space, as you can imagine, with a channel like this often. Exploding Kittens definitely does not go light on box size, but getting this expansion sleeve, a great way to go. It says up here at the top that I've purchased other variations 5 times. You can tell I buy a lot of Exploding Kittens, especially for this channel. Draco145 says, on the topic of base games, which one would you say is the weakest? Ooh, the weakest of base games. That is a good question. So I'd hate to say it. I know what the answer is right away, but I don't want that to be a gauge of the game's quality because I think that all of the Exploding Kittens base games, for the most part, do a great job. Good versus Evil was one that had a lot of expectation. The reason why was because I believe they had it at like Comic-Con style shows early on. They were featuring the game. It was going to have tie-ins with the Netflix show, which didn't end up coming out until like a year later. But this game was severely hyped and it just had everything going for it. Good versus Evil. They were saying it was going to have the most powerful card ever, which was the Godcat card. It came out and it didn't quite live up to expectations. It actually came with a lot more reused cards than fans had hoped for. I mean, if you look at Zombie Kittens, for example, Zombie Kittens, without a doubt, has got to be the best expansion pack, base game version of Exploding Kittens, in my opinion, simply because it is just loaded with so many new cards. I believe I added it up, and it's like 6 to 7 brand new cards. You're talking brand new cards. They all do something different. That was unheard of. I mean, the last time we had that many new games in a base game was the first base game itself when the game was new. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So you compare that to Good versus Evil, and Good versus Evil had a total of like maybe 3 or 4 tops brand new cards, and that just wasn't a lot. And then the Godcat card came along, and they added the thing in the gameplay of like, you know, I guess you could make house rules if you want to and ignore this, but they were like, yeah, see, it cannot be used as a nope card to defend other people from trying to take your Godcat card, which I totally get. They didn't want the Godcat card to become powerless in the sense that, oh, I've got the Godcat card, but if somebody tries to take it from me, I'm going to use it as a nope card to nope their action. And then it makes the Godcat card essentially just a glorified nope to defend itself because it has that. And I'm just going to say right now, time has passed. I can vent a little bit. I hate it when Exploding Kittens prints that backing on the back of those cards where you can tell what it is. We got that with the Party Pack Edition, first edition. They had a different print on it than the base game and expansion packs, and it turned into a nightmare. They even had marketing cards put in future games where they said, hey, do you have the first edition of the Party Pack? Get it replaced because it was such a nightmare. So they got over this hurdle, and then they added prints to the Godcat card and Devil Cat card again. And I never quite understood the reason why they did that because it was just reiterating the same old problem. So I would say that again, Good versus Evil, not a bad base game. Draco145 by any means. It's a fun base game. You want to go for that versus the original base game, you're not at a loss. You're going to get some fun cards. Armageddon is a lot of fun. The playmat with the Godcat and Devil Cat card is a lot of fun. Raising Heck card, I believe, came from that set as well. Some fun cards, but definitely for the $20, and at the time it was like a $22 price tag, brand new, not worth it 100% in my opinion. Unless you just really want that Godcat card. And to be honest, the Godcat card is not the most powerful card in the game. I won't reveal to you exactly where it falls on my list because you could go back on my channel. Totally trying not to mine for views, but if you haven't watched those videos before, check them out. I rank the Godcat card in a couple of different videos. But yeah, there's just significantly other better cards that could match up against the Godcat card. So, and you asked as well, what's the best one? I would definitely say Zombie Kittens. Zombie Kittens was just totally unexpected. I think a lot of people like me thought it wasn't even Exploding Kittens to begin with because it sounded like a knockoff, right? Zombie kittens. We didn't get the traditional cat in the front. I thought it was like some Temu stuff, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, this is actually an actual Exploding Kittens branded game. Ended up being the best base version out there, in my opinion, in terms of bringing something new to the table. So a lot of fun. Draco says, also another question. Do you think Exploding Kittens is better by making new base games? Or do you think a fourth expansion would be better? I'm going to tell you right now. I've been pulling for this for a few years, even made a video about it. And I plan on making more videos about this in the future as wink, wink, Exploding Kittens is having their 10-year anniversary next year. I have some theories on what I think they're going to do, and I'll be sharing those in a future video. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I think that they need to release a fourth and final expansion pack where they release a Super Nope card. Now, I know that a kitten card is the main feature of any expansion pack. So we had Barking Kittens, Streaking Kittens, Imploding Kitten. The kitten card is kind of the main one. So I don't necessarily know that you can make a kitten card that is also a Super Nope card. But I think that whatever the kitten card is, it needs to be the Trojan horse card to get the Super Nope into the world of Exploding Kittens. The fact that we don't have a Super Nope card yet and a Super Nay in Unstable Unicorns has existed for years. I mean, years. That card has been around for a long time. And fans have been asking for a Super Nope card for so long. I think that, granted, it would be OP, right? Super OP. But who cares? You could release one version of the card. It would then truly, I believe, this is arguable, but I think that the Super Nope could become the number one most powerful card in the entire game because it would supersede anything. It would overcome anything. And I almost wonder as well, if it's going to be a Super Nope, do you also give it the ability to override a diffuse card when someone plays it? I don't know. I know there's people out there that say that's too OP, that's too much. I just think, hey, if you could do one final expansion pack, give us the Super Nope, give us a new kitten card, and wrap it all up on a high note. As it is, Exploding Kittens has been kind of churning out these base games, and I just think that we're kind of running to an end where people aren't willing to pay $20 to $25 a pop for a new base game every time, where they're getting 60% of the same cards each time, with Zombie Kittens being the exception. I really think that that's something that they need to keep in mind. End it on a high note, go for a fourth final expansion. Give us the dang Super Nope already. We've been patient. We are tired. We are hungry for more. We want that Super Nope. Reality says it's because they're not supposed to be inserted into the main deck. And so that it's technically marked so that anyone stealing can obtain it easily. And you're totally right. Like, that's absolutely why they set it up that way. It's just one of those things where, I don't know. It's one of those cards where it's not as much fun to play because it comes with a handicap. And, the reality is, it's the same conversation with the Super Nope potential as well. If you come out with the Super Nope card, do you make it the one random unicorn card that is just more powerful than anything? It overrides everything, but there's just one version of it. Once it's played, it's gone. Or do you handicap it? And I think that with the Godcat card, it was a card that the company thought was too powerful to stand on its own, which again, totally makes sense. They had to give it some sort of caveat. They had to give it some sort of handicap, but I just think that it maybe makes it a little less fun to play. Like, honestly, if I win the Godcat card, I'm almost scared to have it rather than excited to play it because I know that everyone's going to be after me. And so take that as you will. Do you mind dealing with the flack of all of the players attacking you for and trying to steal it from you? Does that thrill you? Or are you like me where it tends to give you a little of anxiety and it's like, you know what? I would rather just have a really good All to the Future card in hand or a couple of extra nopes as opposed to having the Godcat card. It's a card that comes with a lot of risk. And so that's really not a detriment to the card. It's more a matter of your personality, I guess, right? Reality of like, are you willing to defend it? Because, you're going to have to. Or will you be able to defend it, right? I guess if you have another Nope card, you just want to make sure you have a Nope card combined with the Godcat card. If you have another Nope combined with the Godcat card in your hand, then it becomes a super great card to have because you can protect the Godcat card with other cards. You're just going to put that quarterback in the pocket, keep him safe, and protect him with Nope card liners. But if you don't have anything to protect it, it's going to be a really scary card to have because, again, everybody's going to want to dogpile you. So that's totally what it comes down to. But great points, Reality. I appreciate you sharing that, and totally true. 6544 is bread says, hi. Well, hello. Good to see you. You've been on the channel for a little while, I believe. I've seen you pop up before. And again, I just got to say, so many of your names on here. Those of you that have popped up, Reality, especially, I think, dude, own this. You've got a badge on my channel. Whenever I log into my YouTube channel, you're like #1 badge for getting like either the most comments or the most hearts for me on the channel. So thanks so much for being a part of the channel. That's pretty awesome. Like, I hope you guys feel that I know who you are and I notice who you are when you comment. The reason why I comment back to every comment is because even though it's a distance and I don't know where you're watching from or your life story or background, I see you pop up and I get to know who you are based off your comments, what you enjoy, what you like to talk about, and I get to converse with you. I remember who you guys are. And so thank you for all of you guys that tune in and watch and are commenting right now. It's really fun in this format to be able to talk like this. I even would love to be able to do an Exploding Kittens themed night. You guys brought the Exploding Kittens questions up on this stream of just asking questions about base games and expansions. And you get to hear me be brutally honest. And you might agree with me or disagree with me. And that's a lot of fun, right? Like, it's fun to be able to talk about this in this format. So if you'd like to see more videos like that aren't just streams about Black Friday sales, if you'd like to see something after Christmas in the new year where I do discussion panels like this, let me know. That'd be fun. But yeah, I really enjoy connecting with you guys, and it's what makes this channel worth it, truly. It wouldn't be nearly as much fun without being able to connect with people in the wider gaming community, Exploding Kittens community, whatever your game background is. It's just fun. So thank you for being a part. I really appreciate it. But that said, I think I've covered all the games that I need to in the stream. I'm trying not to dig into too many other topics because I want to be able to dig into other games in the future days. So as new sales happen, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for those and doing another stream. And also, let me know too, if you see games that are on sale, find a random video. I don't care what it is. I'll find your comment. I will be the Liam Neeson of Taken on your comments on games. I will find your comments and I will respond. If you find games that are just slashed and on sale, comment and let me know what they are. And I'd love to feature them in a video. I do my best to catch as many games as I can, but obviously you're going to know about more unique games, games I haven't played, more obscure games, sleeper hits, big hits that I haven't seen or talked about before. Let me know in the comments and I'd love to talk about them in a video like this. But you guys are amazing. Have an awesome Thanksgiving. For those of you that are not in the States and maybe Thanksgiving isn't your thing, have an amazing season of life. Have an amazing November, a great December coming up. I'm so thankful to have you guys on the channel. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next stream. So sorry, you got to see me be awkward there. I tried to click the end stream on my iPad that is simply serving as a mirror screen and is actually not clickable. So that was awkward. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I'll see you guys later. Ending the end stream.